Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A day after setting the 24-hour deadline for a substantial increase in tariffs on India, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed the executive orders imposing 25% additional tariffs, what he calls a penalty for continuing to buy Russian oil. What this basically means is that India now faces the highest tariffs in Asia at 50%. So here is how things stand as of this moment. The 25% rate announced earlier comes into effect from tomorrow, that is the 7th of August, but the additional 25% announced today comes into effect from August 27th, which is 3 weeks from now. Significantly, 3 days before this deadline, a U.S. negotiating team is expected to land in New Delhi, no less, to participate in the 6th round of talks from August 25th, which means India still has 21 days to change Trump's very, very fickle mind. The opposition, however, has already made up its mind. The Congress has revived its weak Prime Minister memes, once again using Trump template to attack Modi Sarkar. Their social media timeline is flooded with mockery for India, and their commander-in-chief in attacking Modi, Rahul Gandhi, has said, and I quote, "PM Modi better not, that's the threat. PM Modi better not let his weakness override the interests of the Indian people." One wonders what is the basis of this presumption. However, the only Congress leader who has spoken to the media and not opined on social media so far has steadfastly stood with India's line of highlighting U.S. double standards. Listen in.
Unfortunately, a certain double standard involved. Clearly, this has not been a particularly friendly gesture from a country we thought was well disposed towards us, or an administration that we thought was well disposed. Very clearly, we have to act accordingly, and we will have to learn our lessons from this experience. I think there is certainly a likelihood there will be some pressure within India now to impose a comparable reciprocal tariffs on American exports to India. So I think we're going to have to really start looking at other trading partners much more in these circumstances.
Tharoor may call for retaliation and reciprocal tariffs, but India is being firm but measured in its response, reiterating that Indian imports are based on market forces and its national interests. The Ministry of External Affairs has called additional tariffs extremely unfortunate and calling out US for penalizing India for actions that several other countries are also taking in their own national interest. It is this India First doctrine that has US President Donald Trump squirming in his seat. Just yesterday, India had exposed a stunning case of American hypocrisy, leaving the world's most outspoken leader mumbling. India pointed out an inconvenient truth about US trade with Russia and left Trump totally tongue-tied.
India says that the U.S. imports Russian uranium, chemicals, fertilizers, while criticizing their energy imports. Your response to that, sir?
I don't know anything about it. I'd have to check, but we'll get back to you on that. Yep.
So low is the credibility of the American president at this point that even a country like Brazil, that has been slapped with 50% tariff, has refused to give him any importance, not even responding, dismissing Trump's offer to call him to discuss tariffs. Brazilian President Lula da Silva has said he would rather call Modi or Xi Jinping.
Eu respeito, eu não vou ligar para o Trump para conversar nada, porque ele não quer falar. Vou ligar para o Xi Jinping, vou ligar para o primeiro-ministro Modi.
At a time when Trump has imposed 50% tariff on India, instead of any knee-jerk reactions to his tantrums, India is busy strategizing its response. As we speak, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval is in Russia. Trump's not going to like it, but that's what India is doing. The NSA is in Russia, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to visit China later this month. Agenda very clear, Mr. Donald Trump. While an official word is still awaited on the Prime Minister's visit, Prime Minister is likely to attend the annual summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in what will be Prime Minister's first trip to the country after the Galwan clashes. Yet, all that Priyanka Gandhi and her party see is a weak Prime Minister.
क्यों रहे हैं? इतने दुर्बल हो गए हैं, पार्लियामेंट चला नहीं पा रहे हैं, ट्रंप जी का सामना नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, क्या हो गया है?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the Motorola legitimate question on the NewsHour tonight. Whether it is ceasefire, the dead economy charge or tariff threats, what prompts Team Rahul to echo the US pitch? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the NewsHour at 9, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining me on the NewsHour tonight is Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining me is Suhail Seth, marketing guru, commentator par excellence. With me this evening, Tehseen Poonawalla, Congress supporter. Piyush Joshi of the Aam Aadmi Party also joins the debate. I'm also going to be joined by strategic affairs expert and ORF expert, Mr. Sushant Sareen, joining us in just a bit. Also on the show tonight is Ravi Shankar Ravi of the RJD, joining the debate this evening. My first question goes out to Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, what would the Congress rather do? Would it actually want India to go down on its knees to please Trump, or do what Prime Minister Modi is already doing, following India's national interest? And why is that a sign of weakness as far as the Congress party is concerned?
Good evening, Navika ji. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Before coming on the show, I was seeing the timeline of the BJP, which I think should be renamed to Bada Jhoota Party, and the trumpeters for Trump and the BJP were trumping about how Trump and Prime Minister Modi have a personal equation that has gone beyond everything. I mean, they said about how India could buy oil from Russia and still be a part of Quad and BRICS, and they kept, despite everyone telling them that calm down, Donald is delusional. The BJP was on its own trip. At that time, the opposition was wrong when it cautioned the BJP. It was acting against India's interest. Today, when the opposition is again cautioning the BJP, the opposition is acting against India's interest because the BJP has to be glorified and make to look good. But let's come to the substance of the debate. In your opening remarks, you showed the president of Brazil. He stood up to President Trump. He uttered the word Donald Trump. We haven't done it. August 25th, in your opening remarks, you said there's an American delegation coming to India to negotiate. If the American delegation is coming to India to negotiate, what makes President Trump tariff us at 50% today like he did it to Brazil? The fact is, are we now going to give up our sovereign right to buy oil from Russia, something they trumpeted about? Are we now going to give up our right on our self-respect to do what we want? From Prime Minister Nehru and Indira Gandhi to Prime Minister Vajpayee and Dr. Manmohan Singh, we stood up to the United States of America. Remember when Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister, not only did we get a nuclear deal, not signing the 123 agreement, not being a part of the NSG, we also got oil from Iran despite the sanctions. You know, Navika ji, that the then Vice President had come to India to convince India to shut her consulate in North Korea. India stood firm. Sushma Swaraj also after that stood firm. What has happened today that we can't utter two words, Donald Trump? What has occurred today that repeatedly President Trump keeps insulting our Prime Minister and our armed forces, and yet all we get is zero silence and radio silence? The question is, this is about India's dignity and we need to stand up. You stand up to a bully. Put the reciprocal tariffs on President Trump and on the United States of America like all other nations do, and he will tackle. Trump always chickens out. He will tackle. 2 months ago I said, start an investigation on Boeing. You haven't uttered the word Boeing, despite Boeing putting one of our premium airlines into trouble and it had to shut down and we lost jobs in India. Why don't we take on America? That is the question, when that is our only national interest.
Well, Tehseen Poonawalla, I love your outrage. Do you want this to be a wrestling match?
No.
Have you come for the Olympics rather than trade talks? India is exactly doing what you have said which is buy Russian oil because that is cheaper and they're serving Indian interests. So I don't know what you're outraged about. Do you want, just saying the words Donald Trump makes India look more powerful than the statement that has been put out? I really don't know where you're coming from. And you're talking about the fact that, we have a relationship with Quad, we have a relationship with China, we have America. All those were, correct positions stated by India in those times. Just like times change for the Congress party, you were in power at one time, today you are not. Similarly, even in geopolitics, situations change. But Shehzad Poonawala, the only headline that the Congress wants to give this is because Prime Minister is not using the words Donald Trump, so he's a weak Prime Minister. Really?
Navika, first of all, congratulations to you, and it is a matter of pride for all of us in the panel that you have been awarded the Sarvottam Nagrik Puraskar and Samman by Maharashtra Governor. So congratulations on that. Having said that,
Navika, sorry. Congratulations, Navika.
Navika, देश का
thank you very much for that.
नाविका, देश का सबसे भ्रष्ट परिवार, नाम मैंने नहीं लिया, सब समझ गए. चारा चोर, नाम मैंने नहीं लिया, सब समझ गए. नाम लेने की बात वो कर रहे हैं जिन्होंने 1971 में when Sam Manekshaw gave us the huge advantage of 93,000 prisoners of war and 15,000 square kilometers, at that time did not take POK, did not take the Kartarpur Sahib, and in fact wrote a letter to Nixon saying, Your Excellency, please use your influence to stop Pakistan. ट्रंप का नाम लेने की बात वो लोग कर रहे हैं जो यूएस यूके का इंटरवेंशन, डेमोक्रेसी खत्म हो गया इसलिए मांगते रहते हैं. And look at this, Tehseen Poonawala is sitting here. Now let me expose him one by one. Tehseen said that how dare somebody tell us we will buy the oil from Russia, we will be the strong country. Tehseen Poonawala should tell us that during Ukraine-Russia crisis starting, Congress was on one leg. Vote against Russia, don't take S-400, don't take the oil. India said nothing doing, Modi government said nothing doing. We will take a stand for peace, we will take a stand that is our interest. And then Manmohan Singh and Rahul Gandhi both acknowledged that yes, the government stand was correct, our stand was wrong. This Tehseen Poonawala has tweeted yesterday, Trump Sahab, your tweet has unified the country. Tehseen, forget unifying, please don't interrupt.
Don't make it personal.
They don't interrupt me. Tehseen Poonawala said Trump has unified the country like never before. Forget unifying the country, unify your party first. Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi takes Trump on face value and says economy is dead, and Karti Chidambaram says don't take Trump seriously. He says, Karti Chidambaram, that these tariffs will hurt America more, not India more. We should be calm and stable, and the Indian government has responded exactly in that manner, calling out the hypocrisy of America. Rajiv Shukla says Trump is delusional. So Tehseen first, before uniting the country, unify Trump, unify Tharoor, unify Manish Tiwari, unify Karti Chidambaram with Rahul Gandhi. And finally, look at what has happened today, Navika. There is a new normal set in place. We called out the hypocrisy of America without any kind of hesitation, but not just us. Nikki Haley, Republican Party member, Mr. Garcetti, the Democratic Party member, he has said that India was buying oil and America knew about it. Thirdly, community notes of Elon Musk's ex has said that Trump is a double standard person because he's not talking about United States and European Union, which is buying the uranium or buying the oil or the gas from America. And apart from that, whether it is Russia, we have sent NSA to Russia, whether it is still going ahead with the SCO meeting, whether it is Brazil saying that we will call Prime Minister Modi, India has now taken a stand like never before, unlike the 1990s and 2000s where America used to say nuclear test mat karo, and Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh used to accept it. This is not that India. This is the new normal. घर में घुस के भी मारेंगे और पुष्पा की तरह भारत झुकेगा नहीं.
Well, Piyush Joshi, I want to ask you. आप हंस रहे हैं. I'm glad somebody's sense of humor is intact, and I hope you maintain your humor. But Piyush Joshi, I want to ask you. Trump, whether it has unified the Congress or not, difficult to say at this point in time, but it has unified India with Russia, India with China, because the Prime Minister is expected to go there. NSA is currently in Russia. This is a statement to US that we are not buckling under pressure. Our relationships with other sovereign countries will continue. continue in India's interest. And we have given a statement saying the same, that we are not stopping buying Russian oil. If it is in India's interest and market forces determine that that oil is cheaper for us, we will buy it. Why is the Congress party making a binary? Agar Donald Trump nahi bola, to you are a weak prime minister. Does it really work like that? Are we in a WWE match over here? Hulk Hogan, God rest his soul in peace, Hulk Hogan versus Undertaker. Is tariff war like that?
Navika ji, thank you so much for having me on the show. Congratulations for your felicitation. Having said that, thank you for complimenting me for my sense of humor. These are hard times to maintain the sense of humor intact. And let me tell you why. Because as a proud Indian, we have a nonsense speaking president of United States of America insulting my country day in and day out, right, left and center. He is not saying that PM Modi is a bad trade partner. He's saying India is not a good business partner. He is insulting my country. I want my chief executive officer to respond to him. I want my prime minister to develop a spine, and to find somehow his tongue, which he seems to have lost, because it is the president of United States of America claiming that he has mediated ceasefire, then mediating the IMF's loan to the Pakistan, then Pakistan becoming the chairperson of Security Council, and now we are hailing the Prime Minister for participating in the SCO summit, where we are going to be partnering, if I'm wrong, please correct me, probably with China and Turkey, the countries we have been abusing in Operation Sindoor not so long ago. So, what are we talking about? The Prime Minister needs to develop a spine. He's a weak Prime Minister with a weak foreign policy. The foreign ministry has failed miserably. The Minister of External Affairs has no knowledge what he is dealing with, and I'm sorry to say, I think the opposition should unite, and opposition should issue a statement against Donald Trump in this particular case, because the Prime Minister is certainly failing to do so. United States is the biggest business partner with India. India has almost 17% of its exports going to the United States of America, and 50% tariff being imposed on a country like us. I don't know which Abda in Avsar is Prime Minister Modi looking forward to, but I am really surprised that Prime Minister, who's usually very apt at putting words, where they are required, is silent. What are his I don't know about unke personal limitations kya hai, what are his personal limitations that he is failing to speak, So कौन से उद्योगपति हैं जिनकी मित्रता उनको निभानी पड़ रही है? मैंने कुछ नहीं बोला कि कौन से उद्योगपति हैं, पर सब समझ गए, ठीक है? शहजाद भी समझ गए कि कौन से उद्योगपति हैं जिनकी मित्रता उनको निभानी पड़ रही है. The Prime Minister should speak. It's high time. He should find his voice. I don't know. Cat got his tongue probably.
Cat got his tongue. Oh my God. I said it too soon that he had a sense of humor. Wo chala gaya. Somewhere in the middle of his statement, the sense of humor went away. And heartening to see that you're almost using the same words as your long lost alliance partner, the Congress party, calling this a weak sarkar. But let me ask you, first, Sushant Sareen, who's been smiling through this entire response, to respond, and then I'm coming to you, Sohail Seth. Sushant Sareen.
Yeah, Navika, at one level, the kind of stuff which I'm hearing from people like Dr. Joshi, they seem to think that, foreign affairs is the kind of fights you have on, Haryana Thekas. कि तू जानता नहीं है मैं कौन हूं, मेरा बाप कौन है, मेरी कितनी बैक है, and this proclivity in Indian politicians कि मैंने बोल दिया उसको, मैंने उसको बता दिया. अरे बता दिया फिर क्या हुआ? You are faced with a difficult situation. Your largest trade partner, a strategic partner, is behaving in an unhinged manner, in a completely unreasonable manner. And you are trying to tread a very treacherous road, because this is not just about the United States. we have been threatened, including by the EU, with sanctions if we buy Russian oil, even though the EU itself buys Russian oil. But the EU and the Americans think that the oil which India buys from Russia fuels the war in Ukraine, but the oil which the Chinese or the Europeans buy does not fuel the conflict. And if you can make sense of it, or Dr. Joshi can make sense of it, good luck to all of you. But I can't. Okay, so I am dealing in the rational framework. What is happening is in the irrational framework. Now, the leader of a particular party, and I'm not going to name that party, used to behave in the most crass manner in the assembly, right? What did it finally get him? They lost the election after 2 terms. I'm not naming the party, right? The point is that in politics, as in diplomacy, there is some maryada. You have to keep that maryada. Now, does this mean that you kowtow to Donald Trump? I don't think so. Does this mean that you act like a sissy and you give in to everything he's asking you? No. And which is what it seems like we are doing. We are holding, we have dug in our heels, we are holding on to our position. And Navika, the fact of the matter is we have offered the Americans a damn good deal. We have offered them terms and conditions which nobody ever thought India would be flexible on. And while doing so, defending and protecting the most vulnerable sections of our society who we had to protect. Now, if the other guy is changing the goalpost, and this was a done deal, Navika, we had negotiated a deal. That deal had only gone for final approval to Donald Trump, and he decided that he doesn't want any part of it. Now, whether somebody got through to him, what happened, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on somebody like him, right? But the fact of the matter is we tried to negotiate in good faith. We tried to negotiate a good deal. And we thought if he wants to be transactional, we will also be transactional. There'll be some give and some take. He wants it all. We are not going to give it. Now, this is what the position is. As far as I am concerned, right now we still have about 21 days, because I think maybe even more, maybe more than a month before these tariffs actually start kicking in. There are negotiations going on as we speak. As we speak, there are negotiations taking place. At the end of the month, apparently a US trade delegation is supposed to come. I don't know if anything is going to come out of it or not. 2 things are very clear as far as I am concerned. One, if the tariffs stay at 50%, it effectively means that India-US trade is shot to the ground. There is no India-US trade taking place. It's gone. Okay, at that point of time, the choice before the government of India is whether we impose retaliatory tariffs, to which Trump will increase the tariff from 50% to 100%. And it doesn't matter. He could raise it to 5,000%. It does not matter. If trade is not taking place at 50%, it won't take place at 100% also. So that's an academic figure, as the Chinese realized. And Trump had to back down. So quite clearly, that is one way we can go. The other way we can go is we can try and see, can we work around something? But remember that the Europeans are also breathing down our neck, and ultimately we will now have to rejig our entire economic system, bring in economic reforms which we have not brought in, improve your GST system, end this goddamn Inspector Raj, which is killing Indian entrepreneurship, killing Indian industry. My own take is, Navika, if I was the Prime Minister of this country, and under the current system, I would give every manufacturer in this country a Bharat Ratna. The fact that you still have industry in India is a tribute to the entrepreneurial ability of the Indian businessman and the Indian industrialist and the Indian manufacturer.
But Piyush Joshi is not in agreement with you. He's been raising his hand. Piyush Joshi, what is your objection to the logic that has been put forth by Sushant Sareen?
Navika ji, just as brief interjection, it was not Arvind Kejriwal or any other leader from opposition who said Abki Baar Trump Sarkar. We did not organize yagyas and havans for the victory of Trump.
This is the kind of nonsense.
We did not say that Trump's victory is Sanatan's victory. We didn't say that. We didn't claim that he is our long lost friend of Kumbh Mela. So it was not any other leader from opposition. It was the Prime Minister. He should acknowledge that he made a mistake. Now, when he asked for Abki Baar Trump Sarkar, when his party organized Yagya and Havans for his victory and for
Navika, I must respond.
Fact check coming in. Sushant Sareen, fact check.
Okay, so this is the lies for which people like Mr. Joshi are notorious for. They have taken a lie and they have spread it and they keep repeating it and following the Goebbelsian logic. What happened during the Howdy Modi thing was that the Prime Minister was giving a speech. Please go and check your facts, Dr. Joshi. Don't talk through your hat simply because you want to talk.
Everyone across the world knows.
Everyone is an idiot if anybody who says this. Because please keep quiet. Please keep quiet because I am talking. When you are talking, I kept quiet. Navika, this is not fair. Navika, this is not fair.
Carry on. You had a long monologue. Carry on.
I want a monologue because I can't talk over you because you're acting, strangely. Navika, the fact of the matter is there was the meeting was being held. The Prime Minister was referring to a slogan that Donald Trump used during his campaign in 2016 and said candidate Trump had used that particular slogan, which was also the slogan I was using, and he had kind of paraphrased it in his context. That is what was said. He was not rooting for President Trump.
Absolutely, and I can quote it right here. I can quote it right here for our viewers' benefit because opposition leaders do not benefit from facts. He said he has achieved much for the United States and for the world. Friends, we in India have connected well with President Trump. The words of candidate Trump, "Ab ki baar Trump sarkar," rang loud and clear. This is quote unquote what the Prime Minister said. This is what he said. You can continue to shrug your shoulders, Piyush Joshi, but I'm quoting from facts, from verbatim from the statement. But facts have never mattered to the opposition. Isn't it, Suhail Seth? The fact is, the additional 25% penalty tariffs are going to come into being from 27th of August. There are still 21 days, that is 3 weeks to go. पर हमारे यहाँ रुदाली आज से शुरू हो गई है. And we have said कि हमारा weak Prime Minister है क्योंकि he doesn't in his statement use the words Donald Trump. Where do you stand on this, Suhail Seth?
When an army goes to battle, the last thing you should do is doubt your generals. You have to be ranked stupid or an outright idiot to even indulge in that kind of nonsense. A. B. The gentleman from Aam Aadmi Party should recognize that a lot of people change. A lot of people change their opinions. A guy who started out in a Maruti wagon today uses a private jet. Fair enough. People change. But at the time that you used the Maruti wagon, you wanted to appeal to a certain sector, and the electorate elected you because they believed in you. They didn't realize that whatever you were showing would turn out to be untrue. Here, the Prime Minister has been elected by the people of India. He didn't sneak in through the back door. He didn't come in on the basis of, I will never be in politics, through a hunger march and then join politics. My feeling is the following. Number one, why do we in India have so much of self-loathing that we cannot fail to see anything except through rose-tinted eyes? Why? Why are we quick to drag our own country down? See, and I agree with Dr. Joshi. I mean, if he's a medical doctor, even better. I agree with him that, you say this and you say that, fair enough. That's politics for you, my friend. Everyone does it. Do you want to now castigate a Prime Minister for being strong? Would you like us to be submissive? Would you like us to throw up our hands and submit ourselves to this unhinged rogue, as I've always defined Donald J. Trump? The answer is no. It is not. In fact, here it's a very interesting analogy which I want to present. The Prime Minister is not speaking and actually inviting derision from people like you. If he was only concerned about his image, he would have spoken. But he is looking at a larger purpose, and the purpose is brand India, the Republic of India. If it was, as Sushant Sareen says, a battle in an akhada, they would have said, haan, dono haath lage. But that's not how politics and international diplomacy and international trade negotiations are played out. Number two, will we be pained after this tariff increase? The answer is yes. But the beauty about this country, and we're a civilizational legacy, is that India has always found opportunities in adversity. Some people call it jugaad, some people call it the Indian spirit, some people call it entrepreneurial zeal, whatever you call it. I do not believe that India will crumble and fold up and, kind of vanish from the economic environment of the world. Remember, India is a civilization legacy, but that joker only has 2.5, 3 years left in his term. India will outlast the idiosyncrasies, the bullying of a Donald J. Trump. The question that you have to ask is, would you want to submit to a bully? Would you want to get into a fight with a pig? The pig enjoys it. Only you get dirty. Would you want India to throw up its hands, sacrifice everything it holds dear, both from an individualistic standpoint and from an economic standpoint, throw our agriculture to the winds, throw our services to the winds, and say, oh, Donald J. Trump,
certainly
whatever
not.
you want, we are ready.
And Ravi Shankar Ravi.
We are not that country. And we will not submit. And he can go.
Absolutely. And Ravi Shankar Ravi, I want to ask you this question. 3 weeks abhi baki hai. Their negotiation team is going to come back into India. India is already doing the back channel. Other countries like Brazil have not even batted an eyelid, not even responded to him. China did the retaliatory tariff, and China, got Donald Trump to come down. Why are you putting so much pressure on the Prime Minister just by saying कि भाई Donald Trump का नाम नहीं लिया? Is this a weak response that we will continue to deal with Russia and China? Go take a walk. Weak लगता है आपको?
Good evening to everyone. Navika ji, first of all, I would like to respond to Shehzad Bhai. Shehzad Bhai never misses a chance to utter the word Chara Chor. I want to remind that after Kargil war, a scam was out, which was Kafan Khori hui thi, and I have heard this from Shehzad Bhai only, that Bangaru Lakshman Janata Party. तो वो जो अपने आप को बहुत देशभक्त लोग बोलते हैं, उन्होंने कारगिल के शहीदों में जो कफन की खरीदारी हुई थी उसमें घोटाला किया था. और बिहार में ये भी कहा जाता है कि जगन्नाथ मिश्रा को बेल, लालू यादव को जेल, एंड Jagannath Mishra's son is a minister in BJP JDU government in Bihar presently. Now, I will come to your question. See, what is happening? This man, US President Donald Trump, he doesn't seem to be a very balanced, very sane kind of a person. He has been uttering nonsense, but when our Prime Minister in the Parliament, when this discussion on Operation Sindoor was going on, our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, said that he received few calls from the Vice President of United States and he couldn't take it, but he called him back. He also said that no leader of any country has influenced the decision, Indian decision and our military decisions. But he could never utter, he could never say that US President, do not take these two words as you are saying, Donald Trump. Just say US President did not influence anything. Because we are a self-reliant country, we can do on our own. We do not need this dictatorship. He is not an international dictator. Recently also, he had said India's non-monetary trade practices are obnoxious. So every time we are silent, our member of parliament from our party in Rajya Sabha, Professor Manoj Jha, he appealed to the parliament to pass a resolution against Mr. Trump. But I mean, nothing could happen.
The resolution pass करके क्या हो जाएगा? And do you pass a resolution against a foreign leader in parliament? I really don't understand what kind of posturing is going on. But Shehzad, respond.
Navika, now I want to, because time is running out, and I'll be very, very brief. Just now, Mr. Ravi started by saying that Donald Trump, his words, not mine, Donald Trump does not seem to be like a sane and balanced person. Then why was Congress believing?
He doesn't appear.
Sir, time is running out. Please don't interrupt.
Okay, fine.
Please. If he was not sane and balanced in your India alliance's opinion, why were you saying that उसने ceasefire करवाया? In fact, this 50% tariff is 100% proof that कोई ceasefire नहीं कराया. वरना surrender करके हम भी Nobel Prize पुरस्कार के लिए उनको सम्मानित करते. वरना हम भी बोलते कि ले लीजिए, दे दीजिए trade deal, agricultural interest को कर दीजिए compromise. हम भी ये बोलते कि Russian तेल छोड़ देते हैं साहब. ये तो 100% proof है आज इंडिया का stand that we have not compromised. Secondly, Piyush Joshi ji, he has said that Mr. Modi is remaining silent. Yes, madam, we should learn from Bhagwant Mann, who had made all kinds of fictional names, and we should learn from Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who said Singapore virus, and at that time Singapore got upset with us. We should behave like how Arvind Kejriwal and Bhagwant Mann behaved. And thirdly, something that you will be very astounded. Today he has said that why are you going for SCO? अरे भाई साहब, जब अपना इंटरेस्ट था तो जिस कांग्रेस को गाली देकर आप एक मंच पे आ गए कांग्रेस के साथ, आज देश का इंटरेस्ट है तो देश ना जाए. They can go for personal interest with the same Congress they abused all lifelong. But India's interest should not be secure. Sir, I did not interrupt. Sir, I did not interrupt. Sir, I did not interrupt. I did not interrupt. Last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Navika, we took the Russian oil, and I am proud that Narendra Modi did this. He saved 26 lakh crores. He ensured that our inflation remains at 4%, which benefited consumers. And today we are not going to allow our agricultural interests to be hurt by anybody.
Absolutely, absolutely, and India is not going to compromise on its national interest. But let me also tell you, Suhail said, China is buying 44% of Russia's coal. India is only buying 19%. पर ये ट्रम्प को दिखता नहीं है. Crude oil, China is buying 47% of Russia crude. We are not buying more than 40%.
Navika, it doesn't matter. We can buy 100% from whoever the hell we want. Who is Donald J. Trump to dictate our economic policy? He has a limited role. His role is to impose tariffs. We will counter that. We may suffer. We will suffer. But we will not submit. There is no colonialism 2.0 going to be activated again for India and for Indians. This is not about Narendra Modi. The stupid people are making it about Narendra Modi. I mean, these guys have no intelligence. It is not about Narendra Modi. When you attack Modi, you are willy-nilly attacking the Indian entrepreneur, the Indian and the Indian economy. It includes our farmers, whoever the hell they may vote for. Why are we making it about the Prime Minister? I have not understood.
Absolutely, and Tehseen Poonawala,
I can understand your anger against a man because
why is the Congress party making this about the Prime Minister? Weak Prime Minister, weak Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is doing what any country would do, and you can't do anything more than this at this point.
What did Brazil do? What did Mexico do initially? What is Brazil doing? Has any Brazilian said he's a weak president? हमारे देश में हम अपने लोगों को कोसते जाते हैं. ये हमारी शर्म है. ये हमारी संस्कृति है कि we will abuse our own people and feel very joyous.
Tehseen, respond. Yes, sir.
Most nations, including the EU, including China, including Brazil, have hit back at the United States of America. For example, China hit back with tariffs, so did Canada. And TACO happened. Trump always chickened out. So Shan said, the question is not to be submissive. The question is you stand up to a bully. You do internal reforms, kick out 50% of the babus out of the services, but that is internal. But stand up. Put back counter tariffs. Stand up and be counter.
The 25% additional tariff has happened today. Narendra Modi, unlike the Congress
if you will allow
party,
me, not interrupt me, I'll just take 30 seconds. Sohail, I'll just take 30 seconds. You interrupted me, please.
No,
the fact is, come on, Sohail. That's not being a gentleman, Sohail. I never interrupted you. Please give me 30 seconds.
All of the countries put together.
Please give me 30
I will
seconds.
just say one thing.
So, Sohail, I'm not done. You say after I'm done, Sohail, please. The fact is now, please, just the fact is before even this first 25% that Sohail is referring to came in of tariffs, we removed the tariffs on their wine and other things that they were sending to us in a goodwill gesture. You don't be submissive, Sohail. That's your line, and I agree with you.
Well,
don't. Where did you
Tehseen Poonawala, then Tehseen Poonawala, please explain. 1 minute, Suhail. Tehseen Poonawala, please explain this to Rahul Gandhi, because who's saying this? Donald Trump has an attention-seeking disorder. He's the kind of guy who attends a wedding and feels like becoming the groom. Who said this? Revant Reddy,
I'm sure
Chief Minister of Telangana.
I'm sure he did, and it's
Congress
true.
Chief Minister.
He is true.
Now,
He is an
Sushant
attention
Sareen.
Yeah.
Rahul Gandhi ko ye samajh nahi aa raha hai.
But how is Rahul Gandhi wrong here? You have to put tariffs. Rahul Gandhi will put.
Okay, Navika, I don't want to, this is a serious topic and I don't want to get into the ridiculous discussing Rahul Gandhi and everybody else. I have two things one to clarify. Tehseen says the EU has hit back. The EU has not hit back. The EU has folded, completely surrendered and prostrated before Donald Trump. So EU has not hit back. The Chinese have stopped certain exports and the Chinese have imposed retaliatory tariffs. My only suggestion is that if the government decides that it wants to impose retaliatory tariffs, then it should impose a penalty on the Americans of a similar number on the pretext that the Americans are buying Pakistani exports, and because the Americans are buying Pakistani exports, we are imposing this penalty on them.
Great idea, Sushant Sareen. I think your phone is ringing, Sushant Sareen. I think your phone is ringing. Piyush Goyal just invited you for a conversation, a roundtable discussion, and he's picking up all your ideas. Sushant Sareen, while you look at your phone, the Commerce Minister is looking for you. I just felt that. I had that feeling. That's why I told you. Coming to you, Shehzad, but let me put out the survey that we did on social media. Congress's weak PM attack justified? Well, yes, say 19% of the people, but no, say 76% of people. 3/4 of India doesn't believe that the Prime Minister is being weak. Shehzad Poonawala, does the opposition not get this?
Navika, Tehseen's idea of countering what Trump has done is that we should put more retaliatory tariff. That means if somebody shouts, we should shout louder. Well, that may be one way of dealing with negotiations, but the other way is to keep your voice low but wield a big stick. And that is what India has done. India has safeguarded its interests irrespective of the pressures. But for me to come and announce here that we will do this, we will do that, now that liberty is not there for Government of India or its spokespersons to come and announce and to let the entire world know that what we will or we will not do. That is completely our domain. But I want to just give one example. This so-called strong Tehseen Poonawala's government, at the time when we were controlling or ensuring our national security, nuclear test, one call from Clinton administration, Ji Janab, hum abhi rok deta hai nuclear test. This person is now lecturing us.
Well, Shehzad Poonawala, I think आपको मैं गुलजार साहब से मिलवाऊंगी. उनकी हर पिक्चर में फ्लैशबैक बहुत होता था. ये कहा जाता है उनके बारे में. आप हर बात पे ये जो नेहरू पर जाते हैं, ये आपको थोड़ा सा रोकना पड़ेगा. Let's stay in the present. But I'm completely out of time. I'm completely out of time on this debate. But all I will say at this point is, watch this space. This story is still developing. 21 days still to go for the penalty tariffs to come in. There is back channel that is working. There is work. The government is also thinking, if nothing else, retaliatory tariffs. But to come out with the conclusion that this is the weakest Prime Minister because he's not naming Donald Trump seems to be, to my mind, a little premature at this point in time. Will the opposition believe in that? I don't know, because the opposition has the freedom of speech. Clearly, diplomacy doesn't work that way. We leave it at that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and to all my panelists for joining me on the NewsHour tonight. On the other side, ladies and gentlemen, new role, new avatar, Smriti Irani joining me on the NewsHour.